Hi, and welcome back to my channel, Nerded This Way. I'm Mahalia, and today we are going to be talking about prepping for Camp NaNoWriMo in April.
Mahalia, in this world, you must know who you are.
Camp NaNoWriMo is pretty much a helping hand to kind of either plan out an outline for your book or to help edit or revision or anything like that. But the purpose is to have a cabin or a group of fellow writers within your genre or your friend group to kind of help you and keep you accountable for your writing. Easier said than done, I know. But one of the harder things that I've learned doing the Camp NaNoWriMo phase is I tend to use it more for like an outline, a detailed scene dissection. That meaning what takes me the longest to do is to create characters. Now it seems like it's really easy to create a character and that's a whole nother ball game, but it's not as easy as you would think. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, you just, put a name on a blank face and it's a character. But it's not. If you love reading as much as I do, and if you love fantasy as much as I do, then you know, or anime, I love anime too, then you know that your character cannot be flat. It cannot not have flaws. Like, I hate the perfect character. Like, the really, really gorgeous girl with no flaws, and she's just so sweet and humble, and everybody loves her. Like, that's great. But that's not realistic and it's not relatable, So I feel like Camp NaNoWriMo is the perfect place to meet fellow writers as well as brainstorm ideas, keep each other accountable, and force yourself to get letters in, get words in, get that time in. It's really easy to just kind of be like, oh, I won't do anything today. I won't work on it today. I'll, write 20 minutes before bed. It's okay. But once you start writing, you're on a roll. And then you giving yourself this time frame to get as much as you can from your story done. That's not practical. At least it might be for you, but it's not for me. It really is not. So what I plan on doing, because we're different people, I plan on creating badass characters, which is also part of my course this year. Miss my aviators. But I have been reading for class, one of these areas. So I have been reading for my class, Plot versus Character, a Balanced Approach to Writing Great Fiction by Jeff Greg. It's the plot-driven stories versus the character-driven stories and the breakdown. And in helping with that, I'm also reading Please Understand Me Too, Temperament, Character, Intelligence by David Kiersey, The Writer's Guide to Weapons, a practical reference for using firearms and knives in fiction by Benjamin Sobek, foreword by David Morrell. And I kind of started on this one as well as the Temperament, which is like the Myers-Briggs and the other temperament tests pretty much broken down into like habits, flaws, possible jobs, anything to kind of help make your character more relatable and rounder, because just giving your character like a Myers-Briggs archetype is great, don't get me wrong, but what else do you know about that archetype? Exactly, me neither. So I decided to do some research on it, because that's kind of what you do when you like something, you don't know about it, you research it. The next book, hopefully I get through these books this month. That's the goal. The month's almost over and I haven't really gotten through them, but fingers crossed. If not, I'll get through them in April. Definitely April. Hopefully April. But the next one is Creating Characters, a complete guide to populating your fiction. Foreword by Stephen James. And this is kind of the same thing, it's just, reworded, different look on it. Another helpful thing for Camp NaNoWriMo is if you're like me and you watch anime and you love anime and you're trying to figure out how to help your character or help build your character's class or race, and you don't really know how to go about it, on YouTube there are thousands, maybe not thousands, but there are a ton of videos that break down your favorite anime. I recommend the character breakdown for Overlord only because if you're creating like fantasy, high fantasy, they're monsters. So you're kind of getting a feel for what this book is about, which is a manga, light novel, and anime. They're all very different, but they all have the same storyline. They're all a little detailed differently, which is great. But going back to the prepping for Camp NaNoWriMo is to help you. It's to help you figure out if your character works for your story, if your character needs a little bit more oomph or a little more like spazzally or sass or even flaws. I hate to say it, but a lot of times people hate the protagonist because they're almost too perfect. They're unrealistic. And I think that's why I don't really read too much contemporary. But that's neither here nor there. There's other reasons why I don't really relate well with contemporary. I don't know, it's just me. But in Camp NaNoWriMo, you're given a goal. You give yourself this goal. You give yourself an amount of words you want to complete at the end of the month. I use Dabble. I love that. I love that program so much. It helps me plan everything, write a scene, organize a scene, do a world building map, which I know you might be thinking like map, like cartography. It's not at all. It's just like flashcards that you kind of like move around and stuff. There are so many programs that line up to the NaNoWriMo site that works with it to help you keep your count. If you're like me and you handwrite your draft first, I just started that too, by the way. Like, it's a new thing and I love it so much. I'll do a video on that later. Like, wow, mind blown. I am going to type up my story. I'm going to take my first really rough draft notebook, which is almost done, and type it out, which I kind of have to do for class anyway. So Camp NaNoWriMo and my cabin mates are just pushing me to do something I already want to do. And that's kind of circling back the point of it. It is to give you that vote of confidence that you can complete it. Like, yes, it's a little bit different, but it's prep work. It's the foundation to help you know how to schedule in your writing. What works best for you? When do you write? How long do you write? Do you kind of flare out towards the middle of a scene, or do you get sucked in and you end up writing for hours? Do you write better in the morning? That is the purpose for me and what I think Camp NaNoWriMo is. It is the prep work to NaNoWriMo. Because if you think about it, it starts April. Let's say you do April, May, June, July. You take a break because, you know, you have a life. When November comes around, because you took that long of a break, I guess. I don't know. I don't know your life. You might want to binge read a bunch of books like I do. That happens. But by the time November comes and day one comes, you already know. You're like, I got this. I know what works for me. I know how to schedule in my bills, my time, my Netflix around my writing. Or vice versa. Whatever floats your boat. Whatever. But I really wanted to put this out there because for my class we had to interview our character, and I realized that although my character is vastly different from me, I don't know a lot about her, which is crazy because I've been writing about her for a long ass time. But after reading these references and these resources, I'm starting to like gauge it a little differently, because it's kind of hard to write about a personality you don't have. And as a writer, that is amazing. That is awesome, because most people think, oh, my character is going to be like me. But you wouldn't put yourself in a lot of those situations, so How are you going to respond to something you've never been in? But if you maybe take a story from a friend, use her personality, you know how she would act. You know that she's been in situations like that. Maybe not the really, really bad ones, but you get my drift. Building the world takes time. And so I feel like creating a character, building a world, figuring your plot, your different trials, those all could be your outline. Those could be projects within Camp NaNoWriMo's framework. And all you need to do is start. This isn't sponsored. Oh my God, I wish it was. That would be awesome. But it's not. This is just me. So I'm not sure what recorded and what didn't record, but I'm just going to kind of sweep back. Being a MFA grad student, a booktuber, a fantasy reader, a fantasy writer, a person who loves Camp NaNoWriMo and NaNoWriMo itself, I can say without a doubt, you can do this. Like, you may struggle, but that's why the prep work is there. That's why the camps are there, to kind of keep you in it, hold you close. And you have cabin mates to keep you accountable, to kind of give you that push, that reprimanding, that little bit of something to help you get there. So hopefully I don't have to re-record this because that'll piss me off. But this is all from me. If you are new here, hi. This is kind of a new thing that I'm doing for people who write. I'm not a part of the writing community, although I would love to be. I should just do that. But this is a new series that I'm doing for writing, because writing is as hard as you make it, and is as hard as it is in your mind. Once you step out of your brain and you just kind of let your natural talent work, everything comes easy. You just have to do it. So this is me. Like, share, comment about anything writing related, building characters. If you have any more references, I will probably have a video up that talks about how Pinterest could help, possibly how I use Pinterest. You can take it, you can leave it, but leave comments down below if you like it, thumbs up if you like it, click the bell in the description, and I will see you later. Bye.